Absolutely right that we have the aspiration of fully integrating all those granted refugee status into UK life. And I really appreciated Lord Jermyn's application of thinking about how we can do that, how they can provide for themselves and settle in and so on. But I think however short this debate is, we can't ignore a broader political context and also the contemporary problem of cultural integration. Firstly, whether we like it or not, the status of refugees has become tarnished in the eyes of the public, discredited by the loss of faith in the process of determining who's legitimately here. And the loss of control of our borders and the catastrophic backlog in assessing asylum claims means that there are worried that some are arriving on small boats, being waved through and so on, and that causes resentments, which is not a good plan in terms of integrating people. Because we have to be honest, integrating new refugees when the public are sympathetic to them escaping horrendous wars and brutal regimes is one thing, but it's different if they have a suspicion of status. And there's a difference in integrating new refugees into a dynamic, self-confident country with a generous invitation to become part of British society, and today's reality, which is a combination of polarised society, economic stagnation, and all sorts of toxic things going on. We have failing public services, councils on the brink of bankruptcy, a housing crisis affecting all British citizens, so we can't expect this to be all smooth sailing. I think as well we need to take a step back, and I wanted to refer you to what's happened, recent events in Ireland over the last week or so. On Tuesday, Mayo County Council unanimously, in a cross-party resolution, passed a motion calling on all council staff to cease cooperation with the Department of Integration, aptly named for this debate. The issue is about housing asylum seekers and agreed refugees in the county, and both Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil councillors declared non-cooperation continued until, quote, any agreed strategy is put in place to properly coordinate provision of additional services for communities hosting refugees. And this comes after violent clashes between the Gardaí Irish police and protesters outside a hotel in Roscrea in County Tipperary on Monday night. In relation to, again, housing asylum seekers and refugees. I thought it was interesting that Mayo councillors emphasised that they were acting as much as anything to ensure that refugees wouldn't be blamed for the scramble for scarce jobs, services and housing. They don't want scapegoating. And also, as one councillor noted, the Irish state could be seen as discriminating against those already living in County Mayo, including migrants and earlier refugees who've been based there for years, sometimes decades. And I think such sentiments are reflected here in the UK. Many people from a wide range of ethnic and social backgrounds feel uneasy about how best to integrate refugees here and about whether there's enough to go round. And perhaps even more challenging is the issue of cultural integration, because historically refugees from all sorts of ethnic and religious backgrounds interacted and forged common bonds in British society. However, we have a problem with what the newly ennobled Lord Cameron once, when Prime Minister, called the doctrine of state multiculturalism, which splinters society into different cultural blocks, often competing identity groups living parallel lives. And this official policy has undermined national identity, fueled disunity, all in the name of diversity, and I fear will be the greatest threat that we have to properly integrating any new refugees.